If you're anything like me and you are consistently running ads inside of Facebook's Ads Manager, you'll know that they are constantly retooling the interface and adding a lot of new features. Probably, well, honestly, my take is that it's in an effort to help us. However, just because it's new or it's designed to help doesn't mean it's always most efficient or beneficial, especially when all of our advertising goals are so different. Now, the specific updates that I want to talk about in this video are the advantage options that Meta has been kind of slowly rolling out, or really kind of feels like more rapidly recently. 3 advantage options in particular. And I want to talk about these because I want to kind of give you some insight into what I do when it comes to these advantage features. Should we use them? Should we not? Do we keep them on? When do we keep them on? If we do, that kind of thing. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start a new campaign. I'm going to walk you through these 3 distinct advantage options that Meta has rolled out and tell you how I use them, or if I use them. And if I do, when I do that. Okay, so we're going to get started by clicking this green create button like we always do here. I'm just going to select an engagement campaign. I'm not going to go through the entire setup process for this. We're just going to touch on these 3 main points in this video. There are a lot of other videos on my channel if you want to see all the other details. Okay, so we have a new campaign here. We're going to scroll down to the bottom, and the first advantage feature is this advantage campaign budget. I've used this for a long time. In fact, I keep it on 90% of the time. So in my book, this one is a win. I like this advantage feature. The reason I like it is because it allows me to take advantage of Meta's, let's say, advertising machine learning to put my budget in the best ad set or ad that is going to yield the most results based on my settings. The only times I won't leave this on are if I really want to be specific about advertising to a certain set of people in a certain location for a certain song and budget at the ad set level. This is very rare. We do it, I honestly really don't do it at all with my campaigns. We do it for some clients with my agency DuPree X, and that's usually because their desires for growth are so highly specific that ad set budgeting just makes the most sense for that. But 99% of the clients that we serve, and for my own ads as well, I keep this on. Sometimes I'll set ad set spending limits. So I'll like cap the budget on one ad set to make sure one gets a little bit when it first starts, or I'll add a minimum ad spend on one, that kind of thing. But for the most part, this stays on. Okay, so for the second one, we're gonna go to the ad set level here, and I'm gonna scroll down to audience controls. So this is the newest advantage thing that Meta has rolled out, and it's called Advantage Audience. Now, what this does is it basically does the same kind of thing that Advantage campaign budget does, in that it optimizes, it uses the learning process, what the software knows about all the people on the platform, and it will seek to find the best results for your campaign. However, I have noticed every time I use this, it does not pay attention to the limitations I set for it. We'll leave it on right now, but I'll add audience suggestions here. So under audience suggestions, this opens up the original stuff that we have always had access to. So I can adjust my age limit. I can hover over that, and I can select the drop down, and we'll just lower it to what, like 52. So now I'm looking at people ages 18 to 52, right? I can lower that to 18 to 34, which is generally the demographic for my music. I can select different genders. I usually just leave that all. I can even add detailed targeting. So I can add Spotify and stuff like that. Totally cool. On the surface, this looks like it should work great. It's going to take these parameters that I've set for it, and then it's going to look within those, but maybe expand out a little bit like audience expansion, you know, kind of has always done. But that's not really the case. The biggest one here is the age breakdown. When I'm advertising music, when we are advertising music, for the most part, unless you're a brand new artist and you're still kind of figuring it out, you know what age your audience is. Like I said, for me, it's 18 to 34. With this advantage audience thing, it completely disregards that. So if I set the age limitation from 18 to 34 to grow my own music catalog, I will still see a ton of results from 65 plus, which means it's showing my ads to people who are 65 and older, even though I have set a limit for it not to do that. So because of this kind of this single thing, quite frankly, I don't use this option. I don't like it. I don't like not being in some sense of control of who my ads are showing to. So I always turn this off. And the way that I do that is I go to switch to original audience options. Now it's going to try to throw this scary thing at you that says potential outcome up to 33% lower cost if you keep this on. And that might be true, but you're going to be getting 33% lower cost from people who you don't want to target in the first place. If you've ever run ads, I'm sure you know that if you advertised to 65 and older, there's a higher click-through rate. It's like a bell curve. There's a higher click-through rate there and a lower cost per result, but it doesn't generally translate to Spotify because people who are 65 and older don't generally use Spotify in as high of a quantity as lower age ranges. So yeah, you get lower cost, but at what actual cost, right? So I will continue with turning this off. And then when I come down to the audience controls, now we have the interface that we're really used to. And we can, adjust our age range down to whatever we want. We can add Spotify. We can turn on advantage detailed targeting. This is not the third thing that I'm going to speak on. However, I do like to test this. I usually do keep this on for most engagement campaigns. In fact, if I come up here and actually set this correctly, it's not on my ad. If I go to my website to maximize conversions to my pixel, etc., then I come down, this is automatically on. It's automatically on for conversion campaigns. Now it's been this way for a while. So I have no qualms about advantage detailed targeting. I think it's a good thing. It's the advantage audience. The two are different. I don't like the audience. I like the detailed targeting. And then that will bring us to the third advantage option that I want to touch on today. And that is advantage placements. It's always been a thing. They've just changed the name of it, advantage plus placements. This is also a thing I don't like. They've made it kind of difficult to turn this off, or I shouldn't say difficult to turn it off. They just try to hide it from you a little bit. So there's no obvious button here to not use advantage plus placements. But what you can do is you hover over the text and then this edit button will appear. And then you click that, and then you can select manual placements, and then you can go about your day. Now, of course, it's going to throw this error at you again, or this warning again. You could get better results with advantage plus placements. Yes, you could financially, mathematically, yes. But in terms of actual return on what you're trying to accomplish, usually no. And I'll talk about that towards the end of this video. After this section, we'll talk about why these things don't necessarily work. But I like to go to manual, and then I usually am on Instagram solely, and I'm usually only leaning into the video options. So I'm going to turn off like ads on Instagram Reels. I'm going to turn off search results, stuff like that. If I'm on Facebook, wow, that was quite a stutter. If I'm on Facebook, I'm usually on feeds, stories, and Reels as well. So the reason these Advantage Plus features exist is because Meta is trying to simplify the process across categories for the average user. These preset things are going to streamline the creation process and give you fewer steps to end up with clicking publish and actually paying money. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be so cynical as to say Meta is trying to maximize their financial return at our expense. Of course, Meta is an enterprise and they need to make money just as every business does. And they're a publicly traded company, so they have to deliver return for shareholders. I'm not naive enough to assume that's not the case. However, I do believe that a happy advertiser is a returning customer and that will boost their bottom line as a business. So they don't necessarily want advertisers not getting return on ad spend here. So these tools, by and large, are meant to improve return on ad spend on average across the board. I do think that's the case. However, what we do with music ads is a highly specific niche market. Namely, we want to make sure that there is audio in our ads when we're actually promoting music itself. So on the placement front, I don't want my video ad with audio inside of it showing on the audience network. I don't want an image ad, period. Now, if I'm promoting concert tickets and I'm retargeting, or if I'm promoting merch and I'm retargeting, image ads will work there. But when there's audio involved, and that's level one of marketing as an artist, I want people to be able to hear my music. That is the product. So it's important that they can hear that. It's important that it's a video. It's important that it has sound. I know a lot of people don't watch with sound on, but it's got to be an option in case they do, or in case they want to turn it on because they're like, I want to hear this song. So I'm avoiding a ton of placements for that reason alone. And when I select automatic placements or Advantage Plus placements, I know that historically speaking, all that traffic is going to go to Audience Network, or it's going to go to image placements because they're cheaper to deliver, and then I'm not going to get the results I want on Spotify or Apple or my online store. Yeah, these features are designed to help the average person, but what we do is not the average thing. So that's it for this one. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to go deeper with topics just like this every single week, then I hope you'll subscribe to my newsletter, The One Thing. Every week, I send out one thing that I am either testing or trying myself to succeed as an independent artist, marketer, and entrepreneur online. And also, as an aside, you can read every previous issue of The One Thing on my website, tomdupreethe3rd.com. If you want to get started there, you're not sure you want to drop in your email just yet, just go to my website. You can go to the link in the description of this video to sign up, or you can scroll down and you can read all the issues there if you want to learn for free. So I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.